Hi guys, welcome to another What's Your Story? It's the girl Queen Jojo. Thank you so much for joining here on Unity Live Radio. I know that you're listening on unityliveradio.co.uk. So go and tell a friend. We're about to start. I have with me a guest. She's all the way from Chicago, people. Yes, we don't have Jamaicans today. I'm the only Jamaican today. We have Felicia Noel, and her business is called what's
New
your business?
my new flame aromatherapy.
My New Flame Aromatherapy. So it sounds exciting already. It sounds like a whole heap of excitement and oils and rub down and stuff like that. So we're going to get right into it. Felicia, for those who don't know who you are, and probably hearing your business for the first time, but before we get into your business, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so first I want to say thank you so much for extending this opportunity to introduce myself and who I am and what I do. Definitely grateful for that. And so, yes, you said it. My name is Felicia Noel, born and raised on the south side of Chicago. I am a social worker by day and candle maker by night.
Right.
And so I've been in the social work field for about 10 years now. Um,
Wow.
and I'm just really interested into stepping out on another wing of it as far as the art and the exposing the art and healing and come together to see what those intersections look like within my work.
Right. And it actually makes sense that you would transition from um, social worker to aromatherapy. It really does make sense. So, um, tell me the journey of becoming a social worker in the first place. Why did you want to become a social worker?
Right. So yeah, so it started with a question that I asked my mom a long time ago when I was a young girl. I asked her, "Mom, what does the brain do?" Or I asked her something in regards to how does our brain work and what is that called? And she was like, "It's called psychology." And so it went from me wanting to be study the brain and prescribe medicines. It went from that to wanting to be a social worker because I wanted to be immersed into people's lives. I wanted that direct care. I felt like I am a vessel to receive all types of emotions,
Right.
information, advice, and so I feel like I want to be able to not only just listen and give advice, but like be there, be a pillar of support for individuals. And so I started my first position was I was a care coordinator working with the senior population. I don't know if you've heard of Meals on Wheels.
Yes,
Is
I have. I have.
Okay, so I would coordinate those type of services and homemaker services for seniors, and I did that for a very long time, and that was like my beginning to immersing myself into the community and actually seeing from face on what are we facing, like what our issues are in the community. And so I went from working with the elderly population to now I'm working with youth, trying to prevent violence across the city of Chicago. And so I work intensely with young men aged 18 to 25 to help them, find other choices, find other options, to be that support that they hadn't had for a long time. So
Oh,
this social work journey has been not only for me helping my clients, but I've learned a lot about who I am
yeah.
as an
I
individual.
I can imagine, and we know that for Black communities, because even though I am in Jamaica and you're in Chicago, you just explaining what you have been doing for the community is very much the same kind of epidemic and challenges our communities face right here in Jamaica with the violence and just trying to protect our youths and really get them to see that they're worth so much more than what they're doing right now and what they're basically lowering themselves to, the violence and the street living when there's so much more. So it's awesome that you decided to take that route because I know that can be a lot. My sister is in that field of working with children, and I see her when she comes home, and I'm like, wow, it can take a toll on you. So you're a social worker, you're giving back to the community, you're doing your utmost best. And at what point you were like, okay, Felicia, this job is much and I want to do something else. What made you decide that, I want to do something with probably aromatherapy and candles, and what influenced that or inspired that?
Great question. So I'm still in social work now. I do therapy. I'm a therapist now.
Oh,
And so in addition to what I do, so back to the story that you just told about your sister, you witnessed her coming home and just look so fatigued, and so that's what I was experiencing. Working every day, with doing mental work is
yes.
just as strenuous as doing physical labor.
Please
And
tell
so,
them again, please,
yeah.
because
And so,
persons have this opinion that, oh, you're not doing any physical labor, so why are you tired? I'm like, do you understand the work the brain puts in? Please
yeah.
explain to them.
It's a lot. Like it's a lot. And so we need to give ourselves that time of our brains need that time of rest too. And not only when we're sleeping, our brain need rest, and throughout the day, throughout different as many increments as we can get. And so from that, I felt myself suffering from what's called compassion fatigue, right? So compassion fatigue is something that where I define it as your ability to care, your ability to be able to fill someone else's cup is being diminished. And so I'm like, well, that's not a good social worker. That's not something that I want to portray to my clients. And so I need to figure out what do I need for myself to recharge, to fill up my cup so that I can be of service to the many individuals that I serve. Because I don't play with lives, and people's lives are very important, and the quality of their lives are important. And so it was really a decision about, okay, what can I do to keep this thing going for myself. Um, and I've always been in arts and crafts, and I've always been dabbling in those things. And so the candles came about one day, where I had it was my job. They gave out a voucher for us to say, "Hey, we appreciate you. Here's a token of something for us for you to do." So everybody got different gifts, and my gifts was a voucher to go to a candle making class.
Okay,
And so that came right on time because probably like 2 weeks prior, maybe a month prior, before I got that, I had started looking up different things I can do, different things I can get into, because part of my self-care practice is long bubble bath with candles,
yeah.
bath salts. And so I was noticing a lot of things was coming into play here. One, I'm noticing I'm burning a lot of candles. Two, I'm noticing I'm burning them every day to relax. And three is like, okay, why not just buy a candle kit?
Yes.
And so when after I bought the candle kit and then I got the voucher to go to the actual candle making class, to me that was just universe saying, okay, go with this, just see how far you can take it. And ideas just started coming about how can I express this to other people, how can I pass this gift of setting time aside for yourself to other
Right.
people.
That's
And
self
so
care. Mhm.
I'm like, package it up and put it in the candle.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's
Yes.
like the very beginning of my new flame.
Okay. What's the meaning behind the name New Flame?
I'm so glad you asked that. So when I was coming up with a name, we all know coming up with names is very
Yes.
it's so taxing.
Yes.
And so I wanted something that was flirty yet fun, yet can be um can be transcribed into something that's valuable for us, right? And
Right.
so I thought about my new flame. So the first thing when you think about my new flame, you think about probably a boo or a new lover,
Yeah.
or somebody that's new, something that's new into your
You.
life, right? And so I started breaking that down, like, so it's most commonly referred to a connection existing that hasn't existed before. And this is the type of connection that's going to spark vibes and adoration and
So that's
admiration.
so that's what happens when persons burn your candles.
I mean, that's the energy behind it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it's essentially an affirmation as well, that we will always choose to walk on our eliminated path. It's also a manifestation to manifest new things into your life. So it's kind of a combination of a few things.
Okay. Now, when you started My New Flame Aromatherapy, your business, you had you see all the signs where everything was just working together for you, and you were like, okay, so I am going to this candle class, I am gonna start making candles, and I'm gonna resell them, and I've already have my name. You had your name now. What was it like? What was the response when you launched? And how long did it take you to say, all right, this is my business, I'm officially launching, and I am now going to be a businesswoman?
Wow, that right there, Miss Jody. Now look, so that process. Whew, how much time we got? No, I'm gonna wrap it up.
We got time.
So I preface it like that because it took me about a good year and a half of planning and preparing myself and like just coming up with everything that it takes, because it's a lot of thinking, it's a lot of learning. I had to teach myself a lot about just not only the logistics of candles but logistics of business.
Mhm.
um so it took a lot, and then it was a lot of fear. It was a lot of fear involved with, like, "Ooh, should I step out now? What people gonna think? Or should
Mhm.
I change this?" So it was a lot of doubt. It was a lot of fear and a lot of doubt that was surrounding me. But what took me back to, okay, you got to do this, you already started, is my why.
Yeah.
My why is, I want to, pass along the gift of self-love, self-care, self-acceptance, and all those good things about positive connections. And so once I start thinking about, okay, my why, that motivated me even more.
Yeah.
And it motivated me to, so every step was a building block upon each other. So it went from coming up with the names of the candles, coming up with the waxes, coming up with the website, having to do that. So I did everything
Yes.
on my own, and it was just a learning experience. And I'm so proud of what I've come to do, and I'm proud of, like, I'm looking forward to what this is, going to turn into as well.
So it took you all of a year to really put everything together, and I'm hoping that persons that are listening really understand that when you are passionate about something, which is, it's obvious that you became passionate about this, and it's not an overnight thing, because obviously, it wasn't that easy to just say, okay, I'm going to make candles. But you wanted to make sure, I'm going to say, you wanted to make sure that you were making the best candles, candles with quality, and you also wanted to make sure that you were pricing it, make sure that the price was right, that you weren't losing, or you weren't overpricing, and delivering delivery to persons and packaging. Now you launched the business, you made your candles. What was the response from persons when they finally, somebody, first of all, what was the response when you got your first sale? Were you surprised?
I was so happy. And so the way it's set up, I get like a email. And so I got an email on my phone. I was like, oh my God, I got my first day. I was so happy. It was just like pure joy. Like, I don't know, it was the happiest I've ever been in a long time, because it's like I did all of this. I don't care. It got to the point where I don't care if two people buy
Yeah.
my candle. I just wanted, for my hard work to pay off in some way, shape, or form. And so that first sale, oh my God, and the response period that I got from people that I know, people that I don't know, people telling their friends. It was amazing. It was like I was overflowing with joy. I would like definitely I couldn't sleep on that first night. Like, oh,
Wow.
I think
Wow.
that first day I made like 5 sales. And to people out there, that may not sound like a lot, but for somebody like me that's stepping out on this for the first time to make
Mm.
5 sales in one day, look, I was beyond grateful and blessed. Like, yes,
So, you're overjoyed now. You made your first sale, well, 5 sale, one day. Persons with small business would give for that, you know. Um, Now you're in the thick of it. Was there ever a point, or is there ever a point now? How I don't know how long the business have been open, but was there ever a point where you're like, maybe this is not going to work, maybe this isn't it. Maybe I'm wasting my time and my money. Do you ever feel that way?
absolutely. That is an excellent point that you bring up too. So the business launched officially in October of 2020. So we're just a few months opening, and absolutely, I've definitely had those self-defeating thoughts. After I made so I started off with a signature collection of my candles.
Mhm.
And so the signature collection pretty much sold itself out probably the beginning of December.
Mhm.
So then that had me thinking like, okay, it's time to come up with your next line, your next idea. And I was in a funk. Like I was blocked creatively. And it's like, what am I supposed to do next? Or, so it's like that kind of had me thinking to always stay in motion, to
Yeah.
always have your ideas churning, to always have something to put out there. And so by me not having that next idea of my next line already prepared, I felt like, oh, okay, what do I do now? Why did I even start this? So I did have that moment, like,
Yeah.
because I want to be able to continually offer my customers and my clients, good quality products. I don't want to be sold out, but the reality is,
Yeah.
times come and go.
Yeah.
And so definitely being prepared. So by me having to I was focusing so much on this first line that, the deadline for me to come up with my second line was approached. And I was like, maybe I should do it, maybe I shouldn't. And then it was around the holiday time. So you had Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New
Right. And
Year.
we all love candles when it comes
Yes.
to Christmas. It doesn't matter where in the world, if it's cold, if it's hot, we're
Yeah.
buying candles for Christmas.
Yes. And so I had that pressure too of the holidays coming up. And it's like, oh, I got to come up with another line. So a lot of that taught me to go at your own pace. A lot of that taught me to not rush, and whatever's for me is for me. And don't let the pressure of holidays and events and situations throw you off, because
That,
it will.
yes, that's such a good point that you have made. Oftentimes we are looking on to other persons and what they are doing and how, they're moving, but we don't know what their preparation and planning is like behind the scene. And we get frustrated, especially as a small business person. I can just imagine, because I have two small businesses that I'm
Mhm.
still in developing, and it can be frustrating because you have other persons that have the same sort of business that you're running, and you see them and you're like, oh my God, why can't I have this? Why can't it be that way? But really and truly, if you just started, it's not going to happen overnight. So you really have to plan and prepare and put things in place and allow your business to grow. That's why it's a small business at first, because
Yes.
you don't just start a big business. That's why it's a small business. So I'm glad that you brought that up and shared that, that it can be overwhelming because people think that starting a business is simple, and you just explaining your journey and how the time it takes to really prepare if you want something good really shows that, listen, this thing, especially if you're trying to be successful, it's not an overnight thing. It's gonna take time. Now, for those who are listening and even thinking about starting their own business, really are start trying to branch out in something. Maybe they're not trying to be a business owner. Maybe they realize that, listen, I've been sitting on a talent of singing or acting or whatever it is for a very long time. Uh, but they are second guessing themselves or thinking that they're not good enough or maybe persons won't accept them. What is your advice to somebody who's thinking this way right now?
Yes, I think that's another awesome question. First and foremost, I think that every individual is uniquely made. I think every individual comes with a certain set of skills, talents, and abilities to be explored. And I think because you have that innate, that magical, that God given, whatever term you want to use to explain how you got your gifts. And I think that your gifts are not for you. So your gifts are for you to learn and to cultivate and to strengthen them. And then your gifts are made for you to share with the world. And so going back to your why, right? So it's like, why do you have these gifts, talents, and abilities? Examine your passion, examine what you want to do with it. And so the more you can create an answer as to why you want to do things and why and what's the passion that's connected to it, you will always be anchored in your purpose. And I think that your purpose is going to be what's driving you always. Like, so always go back to that why. And sometimes you may have to ask yourself why, so just to get that clarity, because like
Right.
that clarity is, it's important to who we are. And if you have an idea, don't we talk ourselves off the fence a lot too. So,
I'm
come up
glad
with
you.
some tools.
Yes.
Yes, come up with some tools, some mantras, some affirmations that when those negative voices come up, you automatically have something to counteract it. Like if you hear like, oh, you want to somebody, let's say somebody that wants to start skateboarding or some type of extreme sport that they want to get into, and they feel like they're not the best. Okay, well, think about why you want to do this again. Think about your talents. Think about, why you're able to do this. So just, I don't care what it is. It can be a sport. It can be something that's, politics, something that's economic, something that's fun, arts, crafty, whatever that is in you, whatever that fire is, I think it's worth growing and exploring. And so don't give up. Do not give up and don't give in.
I agree. I agree 100%. Now we know why you started the business and some of the challenges and the highlights of you starting this business. Tell us a little bit more about the product itself. Like, where can persons go to find it, and what it is you're offering specifically? Like, what are the fragrances? What do they do? What has been the feedback and reviews of your customers? Tell us a little bit more.
Thank you. So my candles, I have actually a few of them now right here. So
Yes,
I have this
please
one, for
show.
example. This one is called Meant to Be. It is a combination of
Oh,
peppermint, eucalyptus.
yes,
And I like to put little flowers and little decorations at the top sometimes.
yes.
Um, and so, ooh, this smells so good. And so what's unique about my candle line is that I remember saying earlier that I focus on positive connections, healthy
Yes.
relationships. And so a lot of my titles to my candles has to do with positive connections, healthy relationships. And so when you say meant to be, that can be a couple, that can be a job, that can be that money that just dropped in your account. It was meant for
Yes.
me, it's meant to be. So my candles are meant to affirm positive connections and positive relationships. And as far as like the quality, I take my time and actually mix coconut wax and soy wax, and I use both of those waxes together because the soy wax gives the long burn, and the coconut wax to me gives the clean burn.
Mm.
A clean burn is pretty much a candle that's burning evenly, a candle that doesn't have the soot
Oh,
And
yeah.
high flames, yeah. And so I just take my time to create quality products. They are all on my website, which is www.mynewflamearoma.com. Right now we actually have a sale going on too, so get them while they on sale, y'all. And then so also I've created another product which is called a vibe spray.
A vibe spray.
Norm is room sprays. So you shake to activate, and then this is meant to like so um I remember I used to see a therapist and she used to spray the room, and the room it kind of neutralizes. It doesn't only take away smells, but it can neutralize the room. It can neutralize the air. Use something to just clear the vibe in the room. And
Yeah.
so I created those vibe sprays for that reason. And then we also have wax melts as well. So you can check out our wax melts.
Oh,
This one is like a citrus basil smell. They're yellow and white. They smell really, really good,
so how
y'all.
would you use the wax melt? Is it just like the candle or something different? How does
So
that
this is
work?
a little bit different. And you actually get maximum burn time from these too. So I offer these as well. These are fragrance warmers. You put a tea light at the bottom, you put a wax melt at the top,
Oh,
and let it rip.
okay, nice.
Enjoy the
And
smell. Yes.
what does that go for? What does that go for? Like the prices? Is it,
So I'm sorry.
no, I was saying, what does the price go for? And can anybody purchase online, whether they're in Jamaica, like I'm in Jamaica or somewhere else, can they purchase from your website?
Yes, so we do have international sales and sales in the US. So definitely go and check us out. And so these wax melts right now they're on sale. They run for I want to say $8, but right now they're on sale for about 6. And so every time you purchase a wax melt, you get a free fragrance burner.
Wow.
That's like the winter time
Nice,
special that I have. Yeah. So
nice.
until winter collection runs out, you can get you a free wax fragrance burner with the purchase of a wax melt. And then the candles will be on sale possibly to the end of this month. And then we'll be rolling out another collection soon. So we just, gearing up for the next season.
Right.
So our candles are based on seasons and not necessarily on holidays.
Okay, so you go by the season. So we're still in the winter, so the mint makes sense. Definitely makes sense right now. So we're still in the winter. It that sounds fabulous. Sounds like you're doing really great. Before we wrap up though, I want to know, do you sell just for retail purposes? And what if somebody would reach out to you to say, hey, I want to purchase to sell back. Some persons purchase to sell back other person's product. Do you offer that service of wholesale?
Yes, we do actually offer wholesale. We actually just completed our first wholesale order about a month ago. I just hadn't had the time to advertise that portion of the service yet, but thank you so much for bringing that up. But yeah, we do offer wholesale candles, typically in quantities of 10 or more. And we have different, we can do private label, we can come together for a custom scent, or we can come together for a fragrance that I already have on hand. It's a lot of, so I'm very open to whatever type of candle that the wholesaler is interested in buying. We can do candles for baby showers, weddings.
Okay.
We can do all types of trinkets. So definitely reach out to us. Let us know. The information not up there now, but it will be soon. And definitely reach out to us for any wholesale inquiries.
How can persons reach you other than your website? So, repeat your website. Where else can they find you?
So yes, other than the website, which is www.mynewflamearoma.com, you can reach me on Facebook at My New Flame Co. At no, it's My New Flame Co. So you just type in My New Flame and it'll come up. I'm sorry. And then also you can reach me on Instagram, and the my name for that is My New Flame and underscore.
Okay.
So yeah, check me out. Come look us up, and come see about these connections. Life without connections, y'all.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Felicia, for sharing your story from how from social worker to candle maker. And
Yeah.
it sounds like you are enjoying yourself, and that this is really what you want to do. Do you ever see yourself, though, before I go, because this just crossed my mind, do you ever see yourself just making candle and stepping away from being a therapist or a social worker, or do you think that they tie together?
That's an awesome question, and I thought about that. I don't think I can be too far removed from social work, because some aspect of it is going to always come up, and so I'm actually trying to evolve my social work career now, and so step more into the arts realm of it. So, if
Yes.
anything, I'm gonna elevate it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to What's Your Story? And thank you, Felicia, for sharing your story. I really do appreciate it. All the best on your journey. Keep making those candles. That will just bring a lovely vibe to people because we definitely need that good vibe.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun, and I appreciate, the time, the opportunity, and all the lovely listeners out there. I appreciate it. Hey, y'all, take care. Yes.
All right.